Hey, what's going on, everybody? Zach here with Brandon Wound Pickups, and welcome back to an episode of, I was going to say rewind time, but I think we're actually going to do just kind of a rewind update because I have too many to film at one time. We might fix a few on camera, but we're just going to go through some of the cooler pickups I have in for repair right now. And we'll start off with what's on the bench here. I already disassembled them because I didn't think I was going to be doing a video. Then I decided I probably should. So we got a couple old T-tops. One of them looks like it's been in the bottom of an ocean. I don't know if this is water damage or just severe sweat corrosion or what, but look at that thing. It's crazy. And this was under a cover too. You can see that's a chrome cover. These don't do that very often. In fact, I have another one in here. Well, this one's kind of clean. This is more what a chrome cover usually looks like. They don't really age that much. So to see this much corrosion on a chrome cover, you know this pickup has been through some sort of abuse. This one we actually were able to fix, and this T-top is cool because it was not made at the Gibson factory. This one was made, I don't know if you can see this, right here. There's a stamp that says Williamsville, and that was, I think, in Pennsylvania, I want to say. And for a short time in the mid-70s, that Williamsville factory was building some of the Gibson pickups, and they would stamp them with that. It's pretty neat to see. Okay, the other pickup from that set is over here. It doesn't have that stamp. This one's in worse shape. Even though it looks better, unfortunately, the coils had been messed with at some point, and the tape was already partially off, and both of the start wires on this are totally gone. So unfortunately, we have to rewind both of these coils because I can't find any trace of the start wire. We have our red poly wire here, nice and dark and vivid. Yeah, and this cleaner cover goes to this one. But even the pole pieces, look at the pole pieces in this rusty one. Again, you never see that with chrome. It's very, very unusual. Here's our magnet. Pretty cool. All right, so that's a set of T-tops. This one I just have to put back together. That one I have to rewind the coils. I'm gonna do that here in a minute. Let's move on to our next pickup. We're back. Okay, so we have some really cool, very rare pickups coming up here shortly, so stay tuned for that. But just because they're here, I wanna do another set of T-tops for comparison. This is more what they normally look like. Very clean. You know, that chrome is pretty durable. This one I haven't fixed yet. As you can see, somebody has messed with it, which, as most of you know, is my favorite when people mess with valuable vintage pickups. So this came in a pair. Here's the other one. This one's really nice. I mean, again, this is more what they usually look like. I mean, look at that. Look at the difference. Similar era. Yeah, crazy. Again, I think water damage probably. This one's good to go. All we had to do was change the lead from this goofy stuff back to a traditional 2-strand braided. This has a patent decal, where the other ones here have a patent number stamped into it. So a little bit of T-top base plate knowledge. When you start out with the T-tops and the patent numbers, these corners are going to be sharp on the very earliest T-tops. Like, it's going to be an extremely sharp right angle. And you're going to have your decal, and most often on the earliest T-tops you're also going to have Phillips base plate screws. At some point, as the tooling wore out, which this kind of somewhere in between, these corners started to get a little more rounded off. As you can kind of see, they still have tooling marks, and then they went to flathead base plate screws. Now around 74, 75, they went to a different base plate. They went to the stamped base plate. Now the early stamped base plate, we're going to get even more nerdier here, and 74, 75 don't have these little notches right here. See those? Got a notch there, a notch here, and a notch here. Those early stamped plates don't have that. Whereas I think in 75 or 76, they start using this plate. Nerdy stuff, I know. So this one I still have to fix. The reason I haven't is because whoever put this cover on decided to solder it here and here, which makes it nearly impossible to get the cover off. I'm getting there, like I'm starting to get through this, but you can't really get a razor blade in there. It's hard to remove the solder. It's a mess. This one was the same way, as you can see, but it had less solder on it, so I was able to get this one off. This is a nightmare, but once we get the cover off, it should be easy. Both of these should still be the original lines. All right, let's go do something really cool. So this one is something you do not see very often. They're incredibly cool, in my opinion anyways. This is a Gibson P90, but it's a mandolin pickup, or like a tenor. I think it could be a tenor guitar or a mandolin pickup. This one is out of a mandolin, it's out of an EM 150, and I think he said it was early 50s. You can see we got the cloth wire coming out of there. You see at that time. So the cool thing about this, and we've actually done one of these before in my mandolin, they're kind of handmade. I mean, look at the edges of that bobbin. It looks like it was hacked up with, like, I don't know, something. And also, the material on this is cool. So take a look. Right there, see how it goes black, white, black? It's all handmade like that. Let me show you something. So this is my 1955 Gibson Les Paul Jr., and if you take a look at that material. Yep, it's jack plate material. The bobbin is made out of the same material that they used for jack plates on old Juniors and stuff like that. They were just being resourceful, I suppose. And if you want to see what the pickup looks like, this is actually what it would have been out of. This one looks a little bit different than mine. Mine has more of a squared off top on it. You can see these things are really cool, and we have the original wiring harness too. We're gonna have to go through all of that. I'll set this down over here for a second so I don't have to walk in there again. Yeah, really cool pickup, very primitive. It still uses bar magnets like a PAF. Pretty cool. Here's the wiring assembly. I don't know if all this works. I'm gonna have to go through it. The pickup actually does work. It reads around 9K. Unfortunately, it only has one magnet with it. As I've said before, I do have some 50s long magnets around here we could potentially put in this. Yeah, I'll have to see if they want reproduction or use another original one. But yeah, that's incredibly cool. And it's just a dog ear P90 base plate, just kind of mounted. It's nerddom level stuff, but it's awesome. Next. Okay guys, I got a fair amount of pickups left here, so we're gonna kind of go into rapid fire. This is extremely cool and very, 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 very rare. This is around a 1950 Fender Broadcaster neck pickup. Now, I've had a couple of Broadcaster bridge pickups in before, but I think this is either the first or maybe the second neck. And again, like we were talking about that mandolin pickup, it's so primitive. Like you can see, it's a little rough around the edges. I think this could have possibly been rewound at some point, just looking at it. It does work, but the pickup is from the right era, and that is just a crazy pickup to find. You never find these, like, unless somebody has the guitar and it goes bad, just to see the pickup by itself without the matching guitar is craziness. I think the guy's wanting to sell this after I check it out. I don't know. It's kind of a name your price situation. If you have a Broadcaster and you're missing the original neck pickup, this is a hunk of gold, because again, they just don't exist. All right, put it down carefully. So then we have, it doesn't matter. So what we have here is an old Telly pickup, and you might think, well, yeah, that looks pretty old too, right? It's black bottom. However, ding dong, it's not. It's gray. You see that a lot. You know, people take these like 70s pickups and try to make them look like a black bottom. It's got the PVC leads. It's gray. It's got a stamp on it. It's probably late 60s, early 70s. I think this one works too. And they put like a different plate on it, which is kind of weird. And we can see the masking tape's a little different than it should be also. I think this one works too. So we'll probably just change out the plate and try to scrape some of that paint off. Maybe, I don't know, it might just be best to leave it alone. I'll have to talk to the guy. All right, put that aside. More 50s and 40s, actually. This is a Fender Champion lap steel pickup. I believe this does work. This one came in for a lap steel to tele conversion. We've done videos on this before, but you can either just put a plate on here, like one of the copper plates, or you can take this bottom piece off and put a new piece of tele flatwork on the bottom, which is doable, but much riskier. Yeah, you can do that. But from the string up, this is a flat pole tele pickup. It's just the bottom plate is a little bit different. Like I said, I think this works. I just got to convert it over to a tele. I think he's just doing the simple put a base plate on it and call it good. Another one. This is a cool one. Again, we're kind of rolling on a primitive theme today. This is a Gibson P13. And it kind of looks like it's got its original windings. I think this one just needs a lead, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check that, but look at the bobbin. It's like cardstock. And then if we pull our magnet out here, we get our nice kind of 50s long magnet. Pretty cool. These P13, it's kind of the predecessor to the P90. These are really neat pickups. Again, I think this works. It just needs a lead. I've actually got another one in there too. That's cool, so we'll put a lead on that, call it good. The cover's in there somewhere. Lastly, we're gonna do this one. So this is also a cool pickup. This is a Gibson Dirty Fingers. Now this is gonna be Dirty Fingers Generation 2. And I'll tell you why. It's because there's no T's on the bobbin. We have our actual like bobbin windows. The very first Dirty Fingers are gonna have T-top bobbins. And you can see those in double cream too. They're pretty rare, but you do find them. We can see this was double cream from the factory. No solder joints at all. And it was made probably sometime in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, it's double cream, DiMarzio. Look at it. See? No solder joints. There's an ongoing case about canceling the double cream trademark. I hope that happens, because, I mean, Gibson kind of invented it. Don't know. Take that how you will. But this one, the problem is relatively obvious. There's a lot of wire hanging out. So we probably just got to take this coil off and just repair that. I would imagine we can fix it without rewinding it. Okay, so there's a quick update. I'm going to work on some of these today. Maybe I'll film something else, but I've got quite a bit of work to do today. These are just kind of, not authentication videos, but just telling you little snippets about, pickups and some cool facts and stuff. So if I don't post another video after this, thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time.